Welcome to the Municipality of South Dundas regular council meeting with his team, staff, guests, and viewers online for Wednesday, May the 22nd, 2024. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Moved by Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Vino. All in favor? Carried. Item number 2, confirmation of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or amendments to the agenda? Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you please move item 9I from consent to discussion, please?
Moving 9I to discussion. Okay. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Broad. Can we please pull 9B from consent as well?
Moving 9B to discussion. Any other amendments, additions, deletions? Seeing none, I have a motion. Let it be resolved that the Council of the Municipality of South Dundas approve the agenda as amended. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Ward. All in favor? Carried. Item number 3, disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mayor. So I will declare pecuniary interest on 7E as North Dundas is my employer.
7E, Councillor Ward declares. Thank you very much. Any other disclosures? Seeing none, move to item number 4, adoption of minutes. Are there any errors or omissions, corrections to the minutes for May the 8th regular meeting? Seeing none, I have a motion. Let it be resolved that the minutes of the following meeting, including closed session, be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Vino, seconded by Councillor Smith. All in favor? Carried. No delegations or petitions tonight for those viewers in the room tonight. Our click share has gone out of service, so we do have the main TV has the agenda, and we've circulated any documents as we won't be able to share on the back TVs tonight. 6A, we'll start off with action request, GFL Waste Management Agreement number 2024-38, Manager Hyman. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor Broad. Actually, CAO Tim Mills is going to take the lead on this, and then I'll jump in.
Okay, thank you. We'll start with CO Mills. My
Thank
apologies.
you very much. I wasn't quick enough tonight through you, Mr. Mayor. Council will recall last November a report by WSP and administration that are here tonight that provided an update on the capacity at Matilda. Through the 2023 annual report, it was estimated there was just over 2 years left in life as of July 2023. Then at a recent meeting, we had an update on the report from the last year, and the lifespan was estimated just until early 2025, say January 2025. Council's aware that staff have been investigating options, which includes GFL to extend and transporting our waste to GFL from curbside to extend the life of Matilda. Matilda will require, we're getting a report done right now by WSP on closure, and it'll require 2 years or more, by the time we get the report to close the landfill. Staff are recommending the utilization of GFL, which is located in Moose Creek. A number of local municipalities do use that as well as private businesses to dispose of all curbside residential waste effective July 1st, 2024. Jeff?
So the discussions which we brought forward were to effective July 1st would be commenced with GFL. And that would not change anything that happens at the Matilda landfill, other than the fact of making it non-IC&I. Residents can still bring their curbside, or residents could still bring their bags to the Matilda landfill with a tipping fee. So nothing would change in that regard, and nothing would change with our curbside collection. It would still remain the same. And we can answer any questions which you haven't at this time.
Thank you, CEO Mills and Manager Hyman. Questions from the council team? Councilor Ward?
Thank you, Mayor. So there was a question that was asked to staff about farm waste coming to the Matilda landfill and it being considered IC&I. The response we received, I just have some concern of the farmers knowing how they transport their garbage with a trailer and a tractor, somehow going to Moose Creek or somehow going to Brockville with that. I'm not sure what the efficiency is there. I'm not sure how often we actually receive farm garbage in Matilda, but I'd maybe like to exclude them from IC&I. That's for council to discuss as well. I don't think that that's very practical to send them that far, but that's my thoughts on that.
Councilor Vino?
Yeah, I agree, except I'm just curious, so trying to get my head around the dates here. The landfill will be closed to all garbage at some point in the very near future. So the ag community is gonna have to come up with something to do with their waste at that point, right? Like, we're not keeping it open for, like, it's being closed, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess that's my only thing. It'll only be a short-term solution.
Councilor Ward?
Through you, Mayor, I thought was under the impression that we were going to have transfer once the landfill closed, correct, Jeff? Manager Hammond?
So, yeah, so through you, it would then become a transfer station, but then we're talking discussions on how do they transfer the material from their dump trailer to the bins, because there won't be anywhere for them to dump it at the landfill. So then that's a whole different topic and discussion, where my interpretation of a transfer station is where they drive up and they discharge their waste into bins, they drive around and they move on, is what, there's no spot at the landfill for them to actually dump their garbage or their waste for us to then load it in the bins. So that's where the clarification needs to be had.
Councilor Ward, are you suggesting or implying that the farmer would pay the fee, the appropriate fee for that transfer to GFL?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would still say that they would pay the same fee or whatever fee that staff comes up with that is appropriate, and how they offload their garbage at the transfer station would be their responsibility. So however that is, I just thought, I didn't know that we were classifying farm garbage as IC&I waste when we decided on IC&I a couple months ago. So that, I just wanted to understand better if that's how we were moving forward, or I think there needs to be a bigger discussion once we get to the transfer station, how we want to manage that. But as of July 1st, I was hoping that we would still allow farm garbage to come until we have that transfer station discussion. Sorry, to
Yes,
clarify,
yes,
that
yeah.
they would still pay.
Right.
So there, it wouldn't be for free. They would still pay
Right.
the fee that they already pay now, or whatever new fee that.
So going forward, paraphrasing, just so we're thinking all along the same lines, paraphrasing, we're proposing, obviously, here in July, our curbside is gonna go to GFL, IC&I is gonna stop at Matilda, and it'll be up to the said contractor, the said person that owns the IC&I to dispose of it somewhere where they would pay to do that. And then you're suggesting that we still accept garbage from the agriculture community, or a specific type of agriculture, or classifications of a farmer, to still be able to offload at Matilda. Obviously, there's two scenarios. One would be between July 1st and when the landfill is A, full, and then B, after it's full. Could be two conversations, meaning not in the same. Counselor?
Yeah, so through you, Mayor, I think that's exactly what I'm looking for. I think we can further discuss, there are commercial farming operations. They are zoned commercial, they are commercial operations. So if we want to have that discussion, perhaps we can exclude them, but there are like farms that are not commercially designated that, based on my understanding of interpretation of staff's response, that would not be able to come to ICNI. So maybe if staff could clarify that they just meant the commercial operations, like the farms that are commercially operating, that would solve the problem. I'm not sure.
So, yeah, so either staff or we have a counselor that is an agricultural person. What type of garbage then is it that the agriculture community would bring to the landfill?
Through you, Mayor Broad. So it's hard to say what you would bring. No two loads would be the same. It would be old used parts, bale wrap, anything that you couldn't otherwise get rid of easily. It would just be honestly miscellaneous junk. We would have to make sure that it was nothing hazardous, like no pesticide containers, anything like that. Like that stuff would not be allowed, obviously. It would, everything would, because there would be no place to dump. I mean, everything that is taken up, everybody has to realize that they're gonna have to unload it when they get there. They can't dump it. So, it would be, the whole thing would, I could see it just being a convenience factor, other than driving a tractor to Moose Creek would take an entire day. So just for the convenience factor, I would agree with what Councilor Ward is saying. So now, getting in and unloading something for $20 is probably not gonna happen anymore. We're gonna have to figure out how much that fee is gonna be, because once the landfill is capped and closed, we're just gonna have to pay to transport those tons to Moose Creek ourselves. So whether it's now $50 or $75 or $150, we'll have to figure that out later. But I still would like to, I agree with Councilor Ward that we should still keep it as an option available.
Wouldn't that be the convenience factor then the same for somebody that has a commercial business or industrial?
Yes, I understand your viewpoint, but if, say, a building contractor is gonna be bringing in a trailer load of stuff, is gonna be behind a pickup that could potentially drive 80 kilometers an hour, instead of a farmer showing up with a tractor that could drive 20 kilometers an hour, so that would be the difference. I do understand what you're saying, though.
Not that I'm a farmer or a contractor, but any of the farm any of the farm tours I have been on, they all own pickup trucks, and that's how they manage throughout their farm, right? And make travels to there. And I'm not suggesting either way. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of if we want to be out of the landfill. The landfill business, we are going to be, because that's reality, right? We're out of the landfill business at some point in time. So then it's a pickup and driving it to Moose Creek, and then either drop off at the Matilda as a transfer station for, residents, small items or whatever. So, if we're unsure, I mean, certainly we could table the farm piece, we could still execute the ICNI if we're unsure that farming should be part of ICNI. That could be a potential if we wanted to, but I don't know if pushing it down the road makes any more sense either. Councilor Reno?
I think for me, if the idea is to extend the lifespan of our landfill by excluding ICNI, we're having this conversation without knowing exactly how much farm waste it is, because I mean we don't know how long, like if only 10% of what we intake at Matilda Farm, well then maybe we allow the farmers to but if it's 50%, well then we're kind of going against what our plan is to extend the usable lifespan. So we don't really have the numbers here, so it's hard to make
Right, and
a call on
Councilor,
that.
Councilor Smith only knows what he takes, or maybe some, if it's their junk, then it's their junk. Like, I don't know, like, the business side of the farming, I mean, more things should be recyclable. I mean, we talk about being more green and have more recyclable things, and there's hazardous waste involved as well, so I'm just unsure of that. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Broad, and I tend to agree. I think all we're doing by suggesting that we are allowing a user other than a residential user to utilize the landfill. All we're doing is prolonging the inevitable. We are closing this landfill. The reason why we're closing landfills is because we're generating a lot of garbage and we need to divert that. I think we should be diverting all IC&I, which includes farming. I mean, I don't believe they generate, again, I'm not, you're the expert, and Danielle, you're probably, or Councillor Ward, you're probably more the expert I am in terms of how much it's generating or how much farm junk gets generated, but if you're telling me it's parts and this and that, well, I tend to agree with Mayor Broad. I mean, everybody's got a pickup truck, everybody's got a trailer, I'm assuming on a farm, and they could go to GFL just as well as they could go to our landfill, Matilda. I don't know, is every farmer going to the landfill with their tractor? I mean, I think that's unknown, unknown information. I think that we're assuming they do. But I honestly, I don't know, maybe they do, but I'm looking at this just strictly, we've got an issue where our landfill is getting full. We have an issue where we're trying to prolong the lifespan for our residents. And I don't know if we should be picking and choosing what IC&I industry